What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're talking about trading, investing, what it means to be in both, your thought process, your mindset, how I'm going to attack this. Because, man, just being in chats, seeing what people are talking about on Facebook, and it's just very clear how I've had so much success. And I don't say this to talk down to anybody, but if you're struggling right now in the markets and you're saying some of the things I'm going to talk about, that's probably why. There is this gap, and there's just a lot of people jumping in this that honestly have no business doing it. Okay? Not that they can't figure it out. I think everybody can. I would encourage everybody to figure it out. I don't know who they're following, if it's just crap. If they're not following anybody at all, they're still just waiting for this magic dust to just click in. I don't know what the cause of it is, but the things I'm reading, it's just complete ignorance. I'll put it that way. So let's go over the market real quick, because I think the S&P might have actually gotten close to a crash. By definition, let's grab the peak there. Let's get to the bottom. S&P just shy of a crash. We're at 18% now. An actual crash, 20 or 21% argument could be made. So just to go over that real quick, a pullback 1% to 9 or 10, a correction 10 to 20, a crash 21 and more. Now both the Russell and the Nasdaq have already hit that. Is there more room to go? Plenty. The S&P has not officially crashed yet, or intraday bear market, as they'll call it. But as you can see, we could hit that tomorrow and be just fine. As I'm looking at this market, there's a couple things that are concerning. Everyone's talking about 2008 and how it did have a similar image. Let me go back that far. Alright, so 2008. Does this not look oddly familiar right here? A little bit of ups, a little bit of downs. We're struggling. Some down. People probably really talking about it. People really thought they were buying the dip. Sold off a little bit more. It's probably where we're at right now. If we were to have a couple of green days, is this right around the corner? And it's actually starting to feel like that. Like we are going to just sell off into the abyss. Or are we already getting started on that? This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be our 6th week down. 6th, the red week. It'd have to be a very impressive recovery for this week to not end red. So I'm seeing a lot of people talk about they bought the dip. First of all, you didn't. You bought a downtrend. There's a difference, right? You didn't just buy the dip and it kept dipping. You just plowed your money into something going down thinking you're a market maker. You're going to fix it. You're a blind hope, a silly excuse. Again, I'm not talking down. You have no idea what you're doing. It's the only explanation. Or the person you're following has clearly no idea. And investors, if you're an investor, you're in this for the long haul. You didn't buy the dip. Maybe you added on. But why? So now I am a trader, and with those profits, I do fund an investment account. I think it's important everybody has an investment account, whether you're a trader or not. Like, you can't save your way to being rich. That's just some fallacy, something just made up in your head. You can't actually just not go to Starbucks and then drive a supercar. I did the math joking around on one of my cars. It would have taken you 80 years of your Starbucks savings to buy that car, assuming there was no inflation, right? It's not happening, okay? So as an investor, what my mindset would be is there is some serious issues right around the corner. Issues we can't avoid. Now, a lot of you guys, I do see a lot of the comments is Biden did this, and Biden is getting blamed for a lot. Now, I gotta be honest, you're giving that guy a lot of credit. The president doesn't actually have that much power. But I can tell you, in this world, it's a game of buyers and sellers, and what excuse is leading that direction? There's got to be some sort of excuse, or your little heads would pop, thinking all this was money being moved around. Just imagine that for a second, though. selling off as an investment like this, looking at it as an investor, I'm thinking now how I invest, how I dollar cost average is not like everyone else. A lot of people, I haven't seen one person dollar cost average like I do. A lot of people like to just buy consistently. And if history's shown you anything, that will pan out, right? As this comes down, your average will come down. As it goes up, your average goes up. You know, either way, you're accumulating shares. That's the name of the game. Accumulate more of this market share and let it grow, because the only thing history has taught us is that it does go up. The broader indexes do. Again, look this up. There's been over 100,000 individual tickers. Every one of them hearing stocks only go up. Hold it until you're green. Diamond hands, they've heard it all. They came on the market, they heard that, they went to zero, they got delisted. Not all of them. 7,000 of them are here right now today. 93,000. So while everyone's talking about investors versus traders, investors, just think about that for a second. How cool are you at this? Because you're probably invested in things like SoFi. That's a penny stock almost. You know, you're invested in tickers that are just jumping off cliffs thinking you know more than a trader does. The only difference between a trader and an investor is you find out if the trader is better or not sooner, right? It'll just take you longer to find out you suck as an investor. That's it. You're both going to attach your money to some 3 or 4 letters in hopes to sell it later for a profit and make a gain. Some people will do it on the 1-minute time frame with a little squiggly line on their chart as an excuse. You will do it because you think there's a long line at the store and you think that means something. And sure, but you know what can happen in 10 years? 5 years? You know what could happen next year? There comes a time where you can't kid yourself, especially in this market. So as an investor, dollar cost averaging for me is you got to keep that drip coming in. If it's a faucet, a bucket, whatever you want to do. Right now, stocks are selling off. Now, in a sell-off, in a recession, hopefully you've done your research. The ones you picked, you're confident in. And I hope it's nothing for anything silly reasons. I am very different from most other investors because, you know, I got to ask, my first question is, do I see this company even still being relevant in 5 years? Are they going to be here? If the answer is yes, do I think they're just going to be here, or are they going to have a name for themselves? You know, like what's going on? Like I like Facebook a lot. I like Tesla a lot. Those are my top 2 positions because, you know, Facebook's going after the Meta platform, it's Metaverse. That's going to be huge. I personally think everyone has way too addictive personalities. They're finally going to get to be whatever gender they want. They could get to be an alien. They could be a fish. They could be a unicorn. They could be a unicorn with lizard arms. They can be whatever they want. They can be happy in their own little world, and they're never going to give that up because they hate themselves. This world in social media, which is Facebook, teaches you if you're not perfect, you should just stay home and you're just worthless. You know, as much as I hate that, that is going to fuel Metaverse, I think, far bigger than anybody realizes. So I like those kind of aspects. You know, you can look at the earnings and the numbers and just see the price curve and see where that's going. It takes all of about 30 seconds to a minute with the things right in front of you to figure out what that company's doing. So I personally just like to know, is it going to be here in 5 years? What is the product actually like? Not the tattooed chef, right? I'm not looking at the freezer. I'm not trying to watch who's coming up and picking up a box out of that, because your sample size is literally one frozen TV dinner in your one store, right? I would have to know all the stores, all the people that want to buy it. So mine's a little bit more vague, but everybody's got their own practice. But once you've picked that company, you got to keep the money coming in. What is your income? Mine's trading. You guys have a job, I assume. First of all, hopefully you're not stacking up or paying interest on credit cards. Go pull up your last credit card statement. Go look at your last bill. See how much that went towards interest. Because before you worry about buying any dip, you need to stop the hemorrhaging, the money you're just bleeding out. Interest, free money, you are pissing down a drain. I would wipe that slate clean. As cool as it is to talk about the markets, you can invest your way out and pay off that debt, but if you're not on that level, stop pretending to be. Anyway, back to how I invest. Dollar cost average. I have money going into my investments and a savings account, like with crypto. We'll get into that in a little bit. Bitcoin, Ethereum, savings account. Every week, it's automated. I don't look at it, I don't touch it. When it hits certain levels, savings accounts gets dumped in. So by the time you're at the bottom, after that crazy sell-off, you chunk in, your average price goes way down. Now, I don't care about the sell-off. Like right now, I manage it, I watch it. Right now, how it looks like what's coming, or just how it looks like we're in some serious trouble. I've already said that before. Now, the markets will always look like that right before a bottom is right around the corner. Maybe even just me saying this brings the bottom, and hopefully it does for some of you guys' sake. But it kind of looks like we're in for it. Like, there is just nothing in that chart that says we're finding a bottom anytime soon, and we could really, it's like we're just looking for the straw to break the camel's back before we get a serious, like, you guys think this is red. Wait till everybody agrees. Now, everybody thinks it's bearish. The bears are excited, and everybody's just piling in all, well, they think they are. The red candles say there's some sellers, but a lot of the comments are still talking about a dip. Now, when everybody just says, let's do this, and they just get in sync, and they are in gear, and everybody is on board the sell-off, that's when things get nuts. We will start hopping and skipping all the way down. So if you are an investor, stop talking about buying the dip. That's things traders say. You are not buying the dip. You are here to accumulate more shares. If you're going to put in $1,000, your 1,000 shares or $1,000 only buys more shares of that particular company. That's it. You need to be worried about the money coming in, not the price. You like that company. Here it is. You think it's going to be here in 5 or 10 years. That's all you're worried about. How much are you putting in here? I'm going to put $1,000 in. If it goes here, I get a few more shares. If it's here, I get a few less shares, but the 1,000 is coming in, and that's it. So by the time this thing does turn around, that ship does turn around, you find out you're a super investor, and that guy you watch on YouTube was right. It's a Palantir to a million. I hope so for Tom Nash's sake. Hopefully that one you pick turns around and you've accumulated quite a bit. That's how you win. That's the picture perfect scenario. As a trader, the trend is down. Quit trying to buy the dip. Quit worrying about the dip. I've fought it a lot too on the way down, and I've bought stuff. I've made money. I've take some losses, by the way, because sometimes it just doesn't snap up. What you guys are doing, what I'm seeing a lot of, is you bought the dip. Now, you happen to catch it at an oversold setting. There was a green candle. You were green for a moment, but then you watched it turn red. Now you're bag holding, saying you bought the dip, and it kept dipping. Stop. The trend is down. Don't worry about the bottom just yet. The bottom will show itself off later. You don't have to show off your IQ and go on Facebook and talk about how much you don't know about this market, right? First of all, get off Facebook. I see one more person on this stock market group I'm in. I'm going to lose my mind. It is painful, and not because they're dumb or stupid. They're just ignorant and they don't know, and I'm trying to help everyone I can, and so it just hurts to see, like, you're just throwing money away, just into the wind. They told me it's going to be expensive to have daughters. It's far more expensive to have an IQ of 2 digits. Like, these guys are just... It's mind-boggling. I can't figure it out. Hopefully they see this video so they can hear me talk down to them. I don't want to do that, but hopefully they understand where this is coming from. As a trader, the trend is down. Learn to short. Okay? Short. That means you're going to sell high, buy back low for the difference. You get to keep the difference. That's it. Yeah, if you shorted at 150, you sold to open, you bought back at 100. That's a $50 profit for you. Okay? When there's more red candles than green, it's going down. Click the red to open. When there's more green candles than red, click the green to open. Turn your monitor sideways. Is it going left? Click the green. Is it going right? Click the red. It's not that complicated, right? It's just not. You're overthinking things. You're stuck on this buy the dip because all you've ever known is a bull market. Most of you guys started in 2020 after the crash. So all you saw was just this right here. Record-setting, buying, and you were right. What blows me away is I am a mentor. I don't mean to pitch this here because it's a very serious conversation. That is the Teachable link. If you guys buy my trading suite, it comes with the mentorship, which everyone always asks. Like that is the private chat. That's the live streams every night. Blows me away how many people, how many new mentees I will get asking, hey Don, how do I do this in a market that looks like this? How do you do this? You show up and buy something. Tell me what cool excuse you got. Yeah, you're not going to lose. You took a red day here. Would you bag hold for a day? Like, so what? Now the markets get crap, and everyone's like, oh, I got to get a job. This market sucks. This market's rigged. It's scammed. I'm losing money. I'm hemorrhaging money. Like, first of all, I told you guys all about this on the way up. These markets happen. They come and they go. We will see this market again. It will come to an end no matter how bad it gets, and it will be seen again. If you're going to run away and get scared now, this is the time to be focusing. Sorry, I'm backwards. This is the time to have a mentor. This is the time to take away from someone's experience. Hey, what do? I have a guy in my mentorship right now. He's positive. I joked around today and said, you should just overlay that with all the red stocks, the sea of red. And so you can tell everybody, hey, the market's selling off and I'm profitable. Had you bought any one particular ticker, you're probably not. I know someone's going to come here and say, well, energy or something stupid, but just get with the program, right? There's a million ways to make profit. There's a million ways to skin the cat. Well, there's a few ways. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a million ways to do it incorrectly and wrong. But just because the market's selling off, there's going to be a liquidity crisis. People are not going to want to sell. They got to sell you the position. There's a buyer and seller in every position. That will dry up. At that point, your crap stocks, the stuff you think is cool, that there's going to be a short squeeze, you think there's a movement, you think anything, that's out the window. That will happen fast. So you'll need to be in popular names, which will likely be tech stuff or whatever the theme is for the year. You know, one year it was pot stocks. I'm sure you saw and typed all about it on Facebook. Told everyone you're super investors because it's going to be legal and you think that's the future because you think that's how things work. You know, then there was EVs and people bought charging stations because the EVs got to charge somewhere. People are using those for parking spaces because they can't park in handicapped. That makes that company no money whatsoever. But you thought EVs were the theme. There's the money, and the money came in, but you held it, and the money's leaving, and you're the last person at the party saying, where'd everybody go? And you're robbed. Your pockets are empty, right? What was some other themes? There was pot stocks, EVs. SPACs. Man, this one's going to be this company. It's going to be great. I'm going to buy it at $10. I'm going to sell it at $1 million. And everybody just poured their money in. Every year kind of has a theme. This year's theme so far has been energy. I don't know where to go on that. I hate losing my train of thought, especially mid-video like this. I don't know. Either way, I want to start clearing things up. If you're an investor, it needs to be how much are you putting in. It's not to be scared. You need to keep an eye on things. If you think it's going to sell off even further, and Don, I don't want a dollar cost and chunk it in later. I'd rather just chunk in later. I'd like to skip a couple of these red candles. I do that as a trader all the time. Watch this every day. Start setting alerts. This is the time to be focused. This is some of the better times. Amazon's almost 50% from its highs. Which, on that note, real quick, because this thing does look good. I do like Amazon. That looks enticing to me. But let me tell you something, guys. And while this won't happen, I don't think it'll happen with Amazon. You guys are looking at this. Holy crap, it's 50% off its highs. What you should be looking at is, holy crap, this thing still has $2,100 more to go before it hits zero. Okay? If you guys think it can't get any lower, I promise you it can. Stop saying that. It can. Well, it can't get much lower than this. Look at the right. You see that number, 2107? That's how much lower it can go. In every case. You look at your $3 ticker, because it used to be 80, now it's $3. How much lower can it go? $3 per share. I'll spare you that math. It's super simple. No matter what your ticker is, you look at this number, how much lower can it go? There's your answer. It's on every chart. You just got to look over to the right. Unless you have it over here on the left. Some people are weird like that. Thought about it. I might. But not yet. So be careful with, I gotta buy this, because Amazon is one I gotta buy. I do like it. I don't really care for it as an investment because it doesn't really do much. It's one of the best ones to trade, though. But I gotta say, this price is looking enticing. So what I'm doing is, it is in my investment account. I'm not buying it every day. I'll just go right here, set an alert. And one day that alert will go off. Now go to the daily, and every red day you just scoot that alert on down. When the bottom comes in, you might miss the bottom dollar. Cool. But you might not buy it $1,000 too early, too. So just keep trailing that down. When it goes off, then chunk some money in. As a trader, is that the best time to enter short after a massive sell-off? Probably not. But at the same time, the trend is down. The trend is your friend until the bend at the end. This always sounds weird. I don't know if I don't really say that because it sounds weird. But she's your friend until she dumps you. Okay? And some people, they think, man, that's too much. I can't get in short. You've had plenty of short entries on this. Look at these entries you could have had. Every one of these green candles was a short entry. Bear flag after bear flag after bear. That was a drop-based drop. Anytime you see that, there's your cue. I'm going to go short and put my stop right above here. You would have been just fine. Here's this. I'm going to go short with my stop above that zone. You would have made... At that point, if you grabbed one Amazon at the money contract, you're probably up 100 grand. You spent 10 grand, you made 100 grand. It's not that hard. But imagine spending 10 grand and watching it go to zero because you thought that's the bottom. Stop looking for the bottom as a trader. Everything about these charts says it can get much worse, and it likely is. The tinfoil hat to this video is that's typically how it's going to feel right as the bottom is right around the corner. And I don't want to say that to get anybody hyped into this until those green candles show up, and it's got to be followed by another green candle. The bottom's not in. It is just an entry to go short. You will be far better off taking that L, trying to short it after a green candle, than trying to buy every one of these and calling it a dip. Stop. If you see anyone on Facebook saying this is the dip or I bought the dip, send them this link. Say, watch all of this. There's a reason why my account is full of people like you. Like, there's a loser in every trade. I'm selling to someone like there's a market maker to provide liquidity, but there's a lot of you guys that are buying the positions that I'm opening up short. And it is just a successful transfer. The only thing faster would be for us to exchange bank information and you wire me the money. I told you I'd talk about crypto before we get out of here. Bitcoin to the floor. The only thing that did was break that weekly zone, come up, test it, and now we're selling off again. Anything below that, just bad news. I don't think it's worth holding this below 28,000. It's not worth holding and hoping. I have some areas right here that I'll keep an eye out for, but Bitcoin's 10 grand is where I'm buying next. You think you can't go that low? Bitcoin and Ethereum have both crashed a couple times, 85%. That puts it right about there as well. I didn't draw that zone because of 85%. I drew that zone because that's where I draw things. I like to know where the buyers and sellers are. There are a lot of people, a lot of institutions that own this at $30,000, anywhere from 30 to 36. I thought it'd be very difficult to actually break that. Yet here we are. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But at the same time, more red candles than green means there's just more sellers. Okay? More sellers than buyers. And just imagine when everybody says, I'm done buying the dip. How do you get more sellers? Either the sellers get their friends or the buyers leave the market. Either way, however that teeter-totter gets flipped, however that scale leans in one direction, something gets lighter or something gets heavier, it equals the same, and it sells off. We're watching the dollar right now. I'm watching that because crypto was just a hedge against the dollar. As this pushes up, crypto's going to go down. I'm not going to say I told you guys so, but if you've been subscribed to either one of my channels, I told you guys about this last year. Nothing about this is new, surprising, or nothing I didn't already plan for and playing for right now. But it's just time to have a very serious conversation that the S&P might not just crash. It might get a whole lot worse when we get that 30% mark. Might feel like an eternity. It might just have a flush. The second everybody gets on board that, it will happen. Limit down days are going to be crazy. So, to clear things up, to wrap things up, if you're a trader, get in a trader mindset, get short, and until it changes, play the trend. Stop trying to fight it. You're not a market maker. Your account is silly. It is peanuts. No one cares about you. No one knows you're alive. No one notices your order book. I promise. It's just you in your own little fairy tale land. You could have 16 monitors, subscribe to all the YouTubers, and have all the charts you want. It doesn't matter. If you're not rocking billions, no one cares. Okay? As an investor, stop talking about buying the dip. Just stop. You're not a trader. Stop worrying about the day-to-day. Look for those key levels. I would buy this here, rain or shine. That company's way too cheap by my standards. And set your alert there. And know that's what I'm going to buy. When that alert goes off, you buy it. It's not the dip. It's when you thought that company was a great deal. You know, just imagine for the ladies, you're going to Kohl's or wherever you shop for clothes. You really like this outfit. Man, if that were $20, I would buy it no matter what. Now, who cares what happens? Now that thing's $20, you're going to grab it because that's a deal to you. For you guys, we like car stuff. I do. When a certain car's a certain price, I'm buying it. Period. Like I don't care what anybody else thinks. I don't buy cars for anyone else or any other reason other than the fact I want it. And if it's at a price I like, I buy it. As an investor, that's how I would treat this whole stock market. I like this company. It's here right now, but man, I would not care if the world was on fire. If nukes are firing off, I like it at this price no matter what. That's where I would set my alert. That's what I would get ready to buy. I would have my alerts above. I would sandwich it because I'd want to know, like, hey, maybe I was a little bit too picky. The bottom might be in. Circumstances might have just changed. Maybe it's time to grab things cheap while I can. Remember, you have your money. The cheaper it is, the more shares you get to buy. But you can piss away a lot of money just buying things every step of the way down. We can skip a couple of these red candles. We can let a couple of red days pan out without having to gobble up some things. Okay? So anyway, I'll end it here down below. Let me know, did I clear anything up? Did I help you guys out? Who needed to hear this? And are you sharing this on Facebook or Twitter? That's where my algorithms, or the YouTube algorithms, like. Did you share it on either one of those to help me out? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.